What is going on, you guys? Bastion Wagio here, and today I'm going to be following up on the quick series I'm doing on the channel, the future of, so we have right now the two top tier decks, or I guess one definitely top tier. The other one we still don't know until Darkwing Blast comes out, which is being Sprite. I think Tearlaments is definitely the top tier deck at the current moment, and it's only going to get stronger from here on end with Darkwing Blast releasing, with the I think it's Magnificent Mavens releasing as well with the Shizu cards. I think this deck is just going to keep going up and up and up in popularity, and the ceiling is only going to get higher from here. So today, guys, we are going to be checking out some of the new cards coming out of Darkwing Blast for the Tearlament strategy. And I'm going to show you guys a quick deck list as far as what I think best way to play Tearlaments is moving forward, and what I think it's going to have as far as an impact on the overall meta. So before we get into the video, go ahead and leave a like down below, subscribe for more, and now let's get right into the video. So guys, let's do a quick recap of what cards Tearlaments are getting out of Darkwing Blast first of all. So first of all, we are going to be getting the magnificent and the insanely powerful, all-powerful I should say, Tearlament Lulucaros. So Lulucaros is essentially what the deck needed. So what did the deck need? What am I referring to? The ending board with Tearlaments really did not set up any negation. It had a lot of interruptions. It could do a lot. Fusion summoning during your opponent's turn. You know, it could go Dragos to Pele to have a negation that way. But Lulucaros not only gives you a negation, but it gives you a free pop on your opponent's turn depending on how well you're able to have your mills go in your opening hand or in your opening turn. So what does Lulucaros essentially do? When your opponent would activate an effect that special summons a monster, it's very similar to a DDD card if you guys are familiar with DDD strategy, but Lulucaros is the exact same thing. So essentially, when your opponent activates an effect that was consider special summoning a monster or include the effect to special summon a monster, you can negate the activation, destroy that card, and then send a Tearlament card from your hand or GY, or hand or face up on the field, I should say, to the graveyard or GY. And then if this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can then special summon this card back. So it follows a similar theme with all the other Tearlaments as far as the big Tearlament, which used to be Kaleido Heart. This used to be a big quote-unquote boss monster essentially of the deck, but I think coming out with Lulucaros is really gonna boost the deck's ability to go ahead and play around a lot and be able to put up a much more menacing board. Going first or even going second is still an insane strategy. So a really cool combo you can actually do with this is if your opponent activates a effect to special summon, you can negate and then send one Tearlament card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, which you can actually then send the Kaleido Heart to the graveyard. Then Kaleido Heart's effect, if you have both on field of course, and then Kaleido Heart's effect will then activate if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect to special summon that card, and then send a Tearlament card from the deck to the graveyard. And then also if this card is special summoned, then you get to go ahead and activate the effect to target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So not only you're getting a negation, you're getting a pop, and you're getting another Tearlament sent from your deck to the graveyard, which means another fusion summon on top of everything you're already doing, and that additional fusion summon can be Dragos to Pele potentially. So I think this deck has way more potential and a way higher ceiling just by adding this one card. I haven't even gotten to the other cards yet, guys. I think this deck is definitely going to be by far tier 1, potentially tier 0, teetering on strategy moving forward. That's before we even get, like I said before, the Shizu cards. So I think this is a fantastic support for Tearlament. But that is going to be enough for the extra deck support. Now let's look at some of the main deck support. No main deck monsters from Darkwing Blast coming out right now. At least not that I'm aware of. So we have that one, we have the Lulucaros, and then we have 3 spells. We have the Tearlament Scream, which is an insanely powerful continuous spell card, and then we have the Tearlament Grief and Tearlament Heartbreak. So I'm gonna go over each one real quick with you guys. So Tearlament Grief, let's tackle this one first. Special summon a Tearlament monster or a Visa Starfrost from your deck or graveyard, then send one monster you control with the same type or attribute to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, target one of your banished Tearlament traps added to your hand. You only use one Tearlament Grief once per turn. It's not a bad card by any means, but I just think there's so many better cards you can play in Tearlament that just help you progress the game state so much more. And that's the reason why I decided to not include it in the initial deck list. It's something that, of course, we're still testing out. We're still trying to see what the best profile for this deck is going to be moving forward. But I just do not think that it really cuts the mark as to what it really, as to really elevate the ceiling of the deck. I think the deck is quote unquote consistent. It's still an RNG based strategy, but I just think that is not the best support moving forward. Again, I could be wrong. So far, I do not think it's going to be evolved in a Tearlament strategy. Maybe run it as a 1 or a 2 of. Definitely not a 3 of course. And the other card that we got is going to be a Tearlament Heartbeats. So Tearlament Heartbeats it's a cooler card. I mean, target a spell trap card in the field or up to 2 if you control a Visa Starfrost. So Visa Starfrost, this is more of a Visa Starfrost centric deck. If you want to go ahead and go that route, shuffle them into the deck, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target a Tearlament trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. It's nice. It's a card that I very much consider playing at 1. Now, I wouldn't even say 2. I just played it at 1 because it is nice to be able to target, spell trap on the field, be able to target the Mystic Mine, whatever might have you, which I think we're actually going to have to start playing more in main deck, as to Mystic Mine, not just obviously what we've been playing so far. I think more banishing effects might actually be coming into effect, just because, or if they're able to shuffle it back into the deck, because there are cards like the Tearlament Scream, which is a definite 3 of, I believe, in all Tearlament decks moving forward. So why is it a 3 of? Why am I going so crazy over this card? So Tearlament Scream is a phenomenal continuous spell, like I've mentioned before. If a monster is normal special summoned and you control a Tearlaments monster or a Visa Starfrost, again, optional but not mandatory in my opinion, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Also, all face a monster your opponent controls will lose 500 attack for the rest of this turn. So that is already giving you a huge boost as far as them not being able to be destroyed by battle, which essentially is what your opponent is trying to do. And because if they get destroyed by card effects and they're being sent by card effect, and then which lets you go off. So the best way to go ahead and counter our Tearlaments is to beat them by battle. But this is already going to be decreasing all your opponent's attack points by 500, which is huge. And you are sending the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard only because a monster is normal or special summoned, which is crazy to even think about. Your opponent even touches the board with a monster, this mills 3, and your monsters lose 500 attack. Absolutely insane effect, but that's not only the reason why I want to put it on, because if it were just that, I would not consider it a 3 of. The fact that it has another effect if this card is sent to the graveyard makes this that much better. So if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add 1 Tearlament trap from your deck to your hand, giving you immediate access to your Meta Noise or your Suliek to give you another form of interruption during your opponent's turn. Now, if these are not the ratios that you specifically like, I perfectly understand. If you want to play more of the Suliek, or if you're more of a Meta Noise player, it's perfectly fine. This will allow you to search whichever one you prefer. And not only that, guys, if you're able to draw it or add it to your hand in any type of way, which Kit Kalos can do, and that's why she is now a definite 3 of, this gives a lot more versatility to the card overall. Not only is it effective really effective on the field, giving you immediate mill 3 on top of whatever you're going to be sending off with like your Merleys and whatnot to mill 5 plus 3, another 3. With your Kit Kalos being sent, your Merle being sent, the Scream on top of that, that's milling 11 cards off top of your deck. I think it's actually borderline dangerous. I think you potentially, if you're going to be playing Tearlament, you may want to play a higher count of cards, just because you're gonna be very low on main deck cards at that point. So that is something that is worth looking into at least. But I digress. So that's why I think Tearlament Scream is definitely the only one of the spells that we're getting out of Darkwing Blast that is deserving, I should say, of a main deck slot. If I'm missing any other cards that are coming out of Darkwing Blast, let me know in the comment section down below, but I'm pretty sure it's all of them as far as Tearlaments goes. As far as which variant might be best, if the punks are even worth running anymore, well, that's a definite no right off the bat with the level 8 Synchro gone. But I think Danger Tearlament is kind of more out the window at this point. I think Tearlament have enough pure support to where the best version of Tearlament is going to be the pure version. I think it has enough consistency, I think it has enough grindability, I think it has enough strength, power, negation, all those fancy things to be able to hold up on its own as a pure variant deck. But that is going to be it for my initial analysis of the Tearlament strategy post Darkwing Blast. But let me know what you guys think of the Tearlament strategy post Darkwing Blast in the comment section down below. If you guys think this is still going to be a well, obviously it's still going to be a top tier deck, but how high do you think the ceiling will be? Is this going to be a tier 0 deck with all the new support that has come out? Let me know in the comment section down below and we can have a nice little discussion there. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think again in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.